This winter pulled me in very deep. Maybe deeper than it ever has before. It was a season of retreat, questioning, of sacred dismantling, an internal death of sorts, as much as it was a healing cocoon of transformation. Living in a semi-off-grid tiny house out in a pretty isolated area meant that the winter was the teacher, and I, the student, just had to continuously listen and surrender. When I sat down to edit this video, all the different stories of what I've been processing and learning and how I've been changing all rushed forward at once. It took quite a few days wrestling with the stories to even realize that they don't all belong here, that they need their own space and time. And I really want to share them with you. I've been struggling to know how to start again. I've learned that forcing creativity when your soul is in hibernation only creates hollow echoes of what was once authentic, which is why I'm only emerging now. And I hope in this vulnerability, in this imperfect return, there's something that resonates with your own seasons of transformation, because I suspect I haven't been alone in needing to break apart to come back together differently and more true over these last few months. So I'm starting here, imperfectly, sharing the bits and pieces that I do have. As we emerged from winter, spring began her ritual of dancing between polarities.
The birds too? Oh my goodness. Alright guys, it's snowing. It's snowing. Baba! It's snowing, guys! Oh. Lil always does this like little scuttle away. Wow. This is such a classic spring snow. Oh, it's so quiet. Baba, do you like the snow? No. Under the caravan. He's just peering. Oh, are we coming out? Oh, nope. He puts his paws on it and then he's like, never mind. Are you ready to go back in? Your paw's cold. Are your paws... Oh, buddy. Okay, you ready to go back in? Yep. I knew a lot of people were not so excited about the idea of having snow, but When you get snows like this, you gotta treasure them. You don't get this kind of quiet. You don't get this kind of energy when everything starts getting warm, and it's like you gotta soak it up because this is so special. It's so fleeting. Oh, Lil, your little paw print in the snow. Are you serious? Oh, snow's stopping. No! More, please. Oh, it's so toasty, Bubba. Feel cozy now. Oh, Bubba, you just had breakfast. Guys, my tripod broke. It's crazy how expensive kind of more heavy-duty good tripods are. I just taped it to make do. When I'm creating videos, it's over a 40 an hour a week job. And last year, since I've been doing my taxes, I looked. Last year, I only made $180 for the whole year. For I don't even know how many videos that I made. And if I do like an average of how long it takes me per video, it'd be like this number. And then so pay per hour would be this. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Of course, I'm doing this because I love it and not for the money. Obviously, I wouldn't have been doing this. I think I'm going on almost 3 years now. Obviously not doing it for the money. But still, the creator economy is as growing and as in high demand as it is. Think about how they pay people, especially starting out. I don't know what I'm saying.
While I often love the inconsistency of spring, sometimes you just need the little signs that offer faith that the season of light is really returning.
The frogs! I'm so happy they're back.
One of my favorite signs is the return of the golden eagles, who every year nest in a large cottonwood tree near the property. It's so moving to watch their process, and every time I go for a walk, I check on them and say hi.
There's a golden eagle nesting right there.
So you could just see in the nest her little tail.
Hi, Mama.
What a view, am I right? After the equinox and before the warmth, that marks the beginning of the extra season we have around here, the windy season.
We live in this mountain valley, and in the springtime it just becomes like a wind tunnel. We can get storms and windstorms that are sometimes as strong as hurricane level gusts. and wind speeds. On days like this in the tiny house, you know, the weather affects us so much that generally we just kind of hunker in and... What do you think, Leo? Wow, yeah. It's coming. Whenever it's really windy like this, the energy of it is kind of, I don't know, how would you describe it, Noel? Just like very dispersive? Because you're just hearing this constant kind of like and definitely feel very not limited, but like, you know, we can't really go outside. It just feels very, I feel a lot of contraction around it. I think maybe we'll need to start a fire soon. Oh, Baba! Is it lunch time? Is it niblet time? Unfortunately, it is only 11. Lunch doesn't start until 12:30. Your internal clock is off. It's like, my internal clock for food is never off. Yeah, so the energy with days like today, it's just kind of a little bit harder to navigate. But I guess that's what happens when you live out in the middle of nowhere, really close to nature, is your relationship with nature is a lot more. But luckily, when we were orienting the caravan, we set it up so that her nose is facing towards the wind. So it's very rare that we will have wind that will hit us broadside. Otherwise, that would probably be unbearable. Yeah. But it's still, I think the combination of all of those things, of like the sound and the energy and just like the fact that everything is shaking and the dispersion, it's just like ends up being a very weird day. Like I woke up and had all of these plans of things I was gonna do today and admin work and whatever, but now it's like I just want to crawl into bed and put the covers over my head.
Sometimes after a windstorm, we have to do a recovery mission. As it turned out after that storm, we found that the wind had picked up a little shed we had placed in front of the tiny house and carried it about 100 feet away before it crashed into the ground.
Which way are we going?
So take this wall off so there's not something just hanging and flopping all around.
Sure.
And then flipping it so we carry it from this side.
Okay. Okay, so...
Oh.
Wasn't sure if it was about to collapse. This is an old shed that was just sitting on the property, falling apart, and, well, clearly falling apart, that our friend asked us if we want to use. We're not entirely sure about how we're going to use it. It obviously needs a lot of work. It was originally over by our house, which is over here. Now we've decided to just take it apart. We may just end up rebuilding the frame and using these pieces to kind of stick back on. We could use it as a little wood shed. We could use it as a tool shed, store supplies for projects and things. And it might come in especially useful if we decide to do our build, or when we do our build, for the build. Yeah, so that's what's happening. Nothing like the joy of doing a project and having to run back to get the right drill bit and tool and nut thing and
Wrenches? Got a socket wrench and ratcheting combo wrenches.
yeah, see, we've only made like at least 20
Passes.
trips.
Might actually have to.
cooking some peppers for breakfast, but the air is super spicy. Oh, Lil, is the air spicy? Buddy girl, is it getting in your eyes? Yeah. Is it spicy? Oh, it's spicy air, huh? Oh. Open the door. Oh my god, it's so spicy. There's 2 jalapenos, a poblano, and then just red bell pepper, but it's so spicy, the air. Wow, it's so warm. Wow. Last night and this morning, and actually the last few mornings, but last night it really stood out to me because we didn't need to make a fire. That was the first night where it was warm enough where we didn't have to make a fire. And this morning, it's stunning. Birds are singing. And look at all the grass. And actually, when we were driving to one of the teeny tiny little towns or villages that's near here, I saw some of the fruit trees starting to bloom. You know, living in our little tiny house so close to nature, it's also such a radical shift in terms of our physical space, because now we have this whole outside space that we can live within, whereas, you know, in the winter we are really confined to, you know, being inside, and our space is so much smaller. Whereas now, you know, it's like I couldn't spend mornings sitting on the earth in the wintertime, and now it's like part of that. And also there's all these things that I want to do in terms of, you know, adventures and hikes, going through this shift of like, oh right, okay, now I can like relate to the outside world in a completely different way. It takes me a very long time. I actually remember in one of my past videos, I think that I made in the fall where I was going for walks every day, and I was just like, man, I just got used to the season of light and the warmth and the rhythm and the pace of it before it was just becoming winter. I really hope and pray that this season of light, that shift and adaptation is it doesn't take me that long. We've just had the equinox, and the energy, it's absolutely incredible to notice just how much the energy shifts entirely after that. And it went from, you know, like kind of warm, I could feel the ramping up, to this very clear shift. Feel the momentum of movement. So one of the things that I've been exploring a lot is, you know, with Earthology, my project of living in rhythm and harmony with nature and natural cycles and according to natural law, is navigating transitions. Because, you know, it's one thing to understand the nature and the energies of the seasons themselves, but the transitions and the transitions between seasons, or the transition seasons themselves, are a whole other layer and level, because it's about the shifting of being. It's not just kind of what's going on in the outside world, but they tend to be the seasons where how we move and how we are operating and relating physically, spiritually, emotionally really, really shifts. So I woke up this morning and I just feel this very uncomfortable like push and pull. There's such a big internal energetic and also very pragmatic, practical shift that happens of adapting from being so inward to suddenly externalizing and expression, depending on what you've been going through. And for me, it's been like a this was one of the most powerful, profound winters
It feels like I have had a almost complete identity shift. But all of it has been so internal, and all of it has been so kind of deep, and bringing it forward and actually doing it. It's like I feel like I'm learning how to walk again, and I don't even fully know or understand what that means. Like, it's one thing to go through a really deep process in the winter of hibernation and processing and transformation, and then it's another to really enact it and to really do it. And I can feel the challenge of that, not in a negative way, but just in a cultivation kind of way. So clearly, there's a lot of energy bouncing around, a lot of things and possible directions. One of the things that I have, that I'm constantly meeting and coming up against is just like, to what degree in my life do I plan and make plans and assert my will versus to what degree do I not plan and kind of open myself to intuitively guided movement and anchored impulses. Oh, look. It's a hawk attacking it's flying at a raven. It's probably a nest. But anyway, yeah. Sometimes you need to assert your will and make things happen, and other times navigating life that way cuts you off from just like the magic flow of things. And other times just being in the magic flow of things means that certain things don't happen. And that's, the push and pull of that is really, I find myself struggling to navigate that all the time. And I think I oftentimes know, it's just, I know how I want to move. I know, but then I jump into my head and I overcomplicate it. And the mind doesn't like feeling not certain. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. Oh my God, there's like a warm breeze. Do you feel that? Wow. Oh, that's just lovely. That's gonna make me cry. Again. You always say that. But no, that's just so lovely. But it's just such an amazing day. In the direct sun, it's like the perfect temperature. So I think I'm gonna do some yard work. Just wanna have my feet on the ground and be outside.
And so, in the last few weeks, as the earth has been more fully coming back to life, I've definitely felt a shift. This winter took me, metaphorically speaking, to my foundation and to my roots. To tend, to clear, examine, and rebuild or resource, or, as in a lot of cases, uprooting certain things entirely. Now I get the sense that it's still about staying connected to ground and root, but more about reshaping of old growth. That's changing beliefs, thought patterns, behaviors, as well as planting new seeds in the new spaces. And while that's all simple to say, it's definitely a lot more in practice. I will say that these changes includes how and what I share here, and I'm very much looking forward to growing into that with you. So, in closing, I have something special to share. The next part is a visual reflection on not just the end of winter and the return of life, but of the inner season I've been moving through, an expression of what it feels like to come up and out from the root in a new way.